Hello kids, Shubha Mangalam. This is Hemalata at Little Scholar High School taking up class 9th biology, and all of you know that we are in lesson number 2, that is plant tissue, and now you have to refer to page number 18. Children, please open textbook and we are in page number 18. Okay. Now in our previous class we have discussed about the meristematic tissue and the dermal tissues, where we have meristematic tissues of three types: apical, lateral, intercalary, and we have discussed about the dermal tissue also, where we have about the epidermis, stomatal or root hairs and all, and their location, their functions and all. Now let us move to the third type, that is ground tissue. Again I'll say the same thing, children. Looking at the name itself, yes, you can make out where do you find this tissue. Okay, where do you find this tissue? What is the third one? It is the ground tissue. Now when we are talking about this ground tissue, what is the nature of this tissue? How are they? Yes, they form the bulk of the plant, children. The ground tissue form the bulk of the plant. That means the major portion of the tissue is occupied by the ground tissue. Hence we are referring it as saying that they form the bulk. Okay, bulk. And what is the importance? They are the storing, they store the food, children. They are the one which helps in the storing of food. Okay, and they provide physical support. They provide physical support. Let me repeat the points of ground tissue. How are they? It forms the bulk. They are the one which helps in the storage, and they are the one which provide physical support, and they have the prominent nucleus. The cells are large in size compared to the meristematic or the dermal. These are little larger in size and they have the prominent nucleus. For you, just a small vague example I can say how you can make out that it is a ground tissue. For example, if you take a slice of a bread, children, okay, if you take a slice of a bread, imagine that this is the dermal, okay, the upper one and the lower one or the dermal tissue. Okay, then what is this? This is brown in color. Yes, the baked one, these are brown in color, but the white ones, the part of the bread which is white in nature, what it is, children? It is taking the bulk part. Yes or no? In between the upper and the lower epidermis, it is forming the bulk portion. This we can refer as the ground tissue. We can refer this as the ground tissue. Understood now? So what is ground tissue? It forms the bulk and it helps in the storage. Now this ground tissue is divided into three parts. Again, this ground tissue is of three types, children. The ground tissue is of three types. Again, what are they? Yes, they are parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. How the ground tissues are divided? They are divided as parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Now let us come to the parenchyma. Parenchyma, what is the nature of the cells of the parenchyma? They are soft in nature, they are thin walled and loosely packed. So how are the parenchyma cells? They are soft, thin walled and loosely packed. So this is the nature of the parenchyma tissues. Now this parenchyma tissues is again divided into three types. This parenchyma is again divided into three types, that is chlorenchyma, arenchyma and storage parenchyma. Ground tissue is divided into three, that is parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. The parenchyma is again divided into three, that is chlorenchyma, arenchyma and storage parenchyma. Parenchyma. Now what do you understand by chlorenchyma? The parenchymatic tissues, which store chloroplast, chloroplast in them. All of you know that chloroplast are the cell organelles, yes, which plays a major role in the process of photosynthesis, trapping the sun energy, and light reaction takes place in the chloroplast. In photosynthesis we have two reactions, light reaction and dark reaction. So light reaction takes place in the photosynthesis takes place in the leaves which contain chloroplast. Why? Which contain the chlorophyll? Yes, that all of you know that. But the parenchyma, we are talking about the tissues. So the parenchyma tissues which have or which hold or which contain chloroplast, those parenchyma tissues we refer as chloroplast. We refer them as chloroplast. Done. Now, what is the next one? It is parenchyma. Again, you can make out from the name. Yes or no, children? Parenchyma. The parenchymatic tissues which have air, means which hold the air. These are loosely packed again, which hold the air, and they are referred as parenchyma, which have the air spaces in them. Those kind of tissues we refer them as parenchyma. And the last one is the storage parenchyma. Storage parenchyma is what do they store? What do the plants store? Yes, it stores the waste material. It can be the food. The children. So, storage parenchyma, they store the waste, they store the food, and it can store the water also, and it can store the water also. So when the tissues are storing waste, food or water, then we refer them as storage parenchyma. Understood, children? So parenchyma is divided into three: chlorenchyma holding chloroplast or chlorophyll. Then we can say parenchyma holding the tissues which contain air. Then we have storage parenchyma which store water or waste or the food. So this is about the parenchyma. And how is the nature of this parenchyma? They are soft in nature, they are thin walled, and they are loosely packed. Done, children? Now, what is the second type of tissue we have? That we have is collenchyma. Children, this ground tissue is divided into three, I said. That is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. We are done with parenchyma and with this T. These are the parts of parenchyma. Now we shall move to the collenchyma. How are these collenchyma tissues? These are little thick walled, children. The chlorenchyma cells are tissues are little thick walled compared to the parenchyma. The chlorenchyma tissues are little thick compared to parenchyma. And what is the nature of the tissues here? They are thick walled, they are longer in size, and they are the living cells, and they provide structural support. They are the living cells and provide the structural support. Now the question is, which are the living cells or which are the living tissues? Yes, it is collenchyma. So the question can be, name the living cells. Yes, it is the collenchyma. The collenchyma cells are the living cells, and they form the main support. Okay, they give the structural support to the plant. Now last one is about the sclerenchyma. Okay, children. Now in this sclerenchyma, how are the tissues? Yes, they are again thick walled. They are thick walled, children, but comparatively more thicker than parenchyma or collenchyma. Sclerenchyma tissues are much thicker compared to parenchyma or collenchyma, and they are tightly packed. Here we can find the air spaces in parenchyma or collenchyma, but in sclerenchyma they are very closely packed and do not have any space in between. Like when we talk about the arrangement of molecules in solids, liquids and gases, in solids how do we refer? Yes, these are very tightly packed without any intercellular spaces. Yes or no? In the same way, the sclerenchyma tissues are thick and they are very tightly or closely packed, children. And that means no air spaces. Very simple concept to understand. Ground tissues form the bulk. They are the one which store. They also are the tissues which help in the storage. They have the prominent nucleus, and of course they form the physical, because we are saying it as the ground tissue. Ground means it form the base, physical. Because of this only the shape is there, physical support. Okay. Then they have the prominent nucleus, which are again further divided into parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Parenchyma are further divided into chlorenchyma because chloroplast, chlorophyll, chlorenchyma, aerenchyma, and storage parenchyma. Then we have collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Okay, children. So we have discussed about the different kinds of like ground tissues, like wherein we discussed about the parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Now, if you open your page number 18, please come to page number 18. All of you refer this page. Here the diagrams are given related to the parenchyma, chlorenchyma, and sclerenchyma. You can see the difference between the thickness of the walls, the tissues of walls, how they are thin and extremely thick, and the sclerenchyma are the much thicker compared to the other two types of tissues. And we have already said that parenchyma, which contain chloroplast, are called as chlorenchyma, which contain air as aerenchyma, and which store the water, waste, or food, like we said, that storage tissue. So these are the given diagrams for those particular type of parenchymatic tissues. Okay. Now let us move to the last tissue, that is the vascular tissue. We shall now talk about the vascular tissue. What do you understand by the vascular tissues? This is the last part of the tissue. Vascular tissues are the one which helps in the conduction of the water or food materials. Okay, they are mainly involved in the transportation of water and food material. Now, water is absorbed by which part of the plant, children? It is nothing but the root system. That is root, or we have discussed in dermal tissues that root hairs are also present. So, from the water is absorbed from the soil, or the minerals, the ions, the water is absorbed by the root part. Then whatever the water which is absorbed by the root need to be transported to the other part of the plant, which is to the tip of the plant or a top of a tree also. Then it is there should be some tissue, there should be some mechanical thing which is going on inside the plant, which makes the water which is available at the ground level to move to the up tip of the plant or the top of the tree. So these vascular tissues are the one which helps in doing that, and at the same time the food which is prepared by the leaves on top of the tree, like shoot system, the naturally the leaves are present in the shoot system. So whatever the food which is prepared by the leaves using the process of photosynthesis, that also need to be transported to other parts of the plant or a tree. Yes or no? So here also some tissues are present which are helping in the transportation of the food from the upper part to the lower part. Okay, so here plays the vascular tissues an important role. So vascular tissues are the one which plays a major role in the transportation, and we can say that these are the one which perform the mechanical function in a plant. Yes, like in ground tissues we said they are the structural support, they give the support, the ground tissues give the support, wherein whenever we are talking about the vascular tissue, they form the mechanical support of the plant. Before going to the types of vascular tissue, let us just do a small experiment which you have already learnt in your earlier classes, wherein we have taken one pot plant, a small plant with roots, of course. This is the normal plant. This is the normal plant what we see. Okay, children. Now, to prove that there is some tissue or some kinds of tissues are present which are conducting the water, for that purpose we are conducting a small experiment wherein we are taking a small plant and with roots, and we are putting this small plant in a colored water. Okay, red colored water. We are using some red colored water where we have kept this small plant, and we have left this setup for 2 hours. We have left this setup for 2 hours. Okay, now after 2 hours, gently take up this plant and cut the stem, and gently pick up the stem and cut the stem. Then this is how it looks like. Okay, children. Now here the red parts, here already it is given in your textbook. For your understanding, I have done it on the board. For simple understanding, already it is given on page number 20, children. On page number 20 the diagram is given. Okay, now when we cut this small section of this stem, we observe that these are the center part of the tissue, the cell, center part of the cell, which this makes the vascular tissue. This xylem and phloem makes the vascular tissue. Okay, vascular tissue. Now the red part, that means there is some tissue or some mechanism is going on which has absorbed this red colored water, and it has transported this to the upper part of the plant. And it has transported it to the upper part of the plant. Now when we cut the section, we see that yes, we can observe this red colored parts. Yes or no, children? So these red color parts are nothing but the xylem. That means the water absorption or the transportation of water is taking place through xylem, and the adjacent cells are the phloems. The adjacent cells are phloem. That means xylem is for water and the phloem is for food. Together we refer it as vascular tissue, and hence vascular tissues are also referred as conducting tissues. I hope you understood this small experiment and why we have done this experiment, for the purpose to find out that there are certain cells which are present in the plant which are conducting the water, and hence we can see the red colored part. This form the vascular tissues, and the adjacent to the red ones are the nothing but the phloem, which help in the conduction of the food from the shoot system to the other parts of the plant or to the root system, we can say. Now this xylem and phloem are divided into certain parts, children. Here only the names are important for you at this particular standard. Okay, the xylem is further divided into elongated tracheids, tubular vessels, fibers and parenchyma. The xylem tissue is further divided into, or further the other parts of the xylem we are elongated tracheids, tubular vessels, fibers and parenchyma. Now the question is, where do you find tracheids? It is in xylem. Okay, where do you find the tubular vessels? We find them in the xylem. Okay, now when we come to the phloem, it is again in phloem we see the large sieve tubes, companion cells, fibers and parenchyma. Fibers, parenchyma are common for both xylem and phloem, but wherein when we talk about the differences, it is the elongated tracheids and the tubular vessels in xylem, sieve tubes and companion cells in the phloem. Okay, children? So this is about the vascular tissue. Here you need to remember is what xylem is for conduction of water, phloem is for the food, and xylem specifically consists of elongated tracheids and tubular vessels, wherein phloem consists of the sieve tubes and the companion cells. Okay, children? Now this process or this mechanical function which is going on in the plants, and before going to that, please, these are the diagrams related to the xylem and phloem, that is sieve tubes, companion cells, tubular cells. Okay, children? So tracheids and all. See, this is the diagram. Here you have to just know the labeling, children. For this standard, just you know the labeling. They may ask you in the exam, just labeling is enough. Now when we talk about the conduction of water or food, children, okay, in small plants we can understand that maybe because of the cells and all it is easy, but this process is equally good or equally strong enough in the larger plants also, like the eucalyptus, which is a height of 200 feet, children. The eucalyptus plants which is about 200 feet, or the redwood trees which are about 330 feet. Even in this kind of large trees also, the xylem or the phloem are sufficient enough or well developed enough for the transportation of the water and the food from the root to shoot, or from the root shoot to the root system. And this process occurs because of the process of conduction of water mainly occurs because of the process of osmosis. Okay, that you'll come to know later on. But for the time being, you understand that even in the larger plants, the vascular bundles, we can refer xylem and phloem as vascular bundle or vascular tissues. Okay, so this vascular bundle, which includes xylem and phloem, are so well developed and mechanically so strong that it can even take the water to the tip of the plant, which is almost about 200 to 350 feet also. Okay, so here we end with the lesson, that is plant tissue, that is chapter 2 of your class. Now here, please all of you refer page number 21, children. All of you please come to page number 21. Here some of the keywords are given. Okay, we have learnt many keywords: tissue, meristematic tissue, apical, lateral, intercalary meristem. This comes under the meristematic tissues. Then again dermal tissues, epidermis, bark, ground tissue, parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, vascular tissue, xylem, phloem, vascular bundles or the vessels. Now this is the end of the lesson. Now please write Sakshi, all of you. Sakshi for the day is classwork. We have completed lesson 2 explanation. We are done with the explanation part or listening part. Then homework is you have to write the question answers which is given at the back of the lesson. You need to write all the question answers. Only 12 question answers are there, including the diagrams, children. Okay, these are the question answers which you need to write. That is on page number 22. Question answers, write question answers which are given on. Okay, so you need to write the question answers which are given on page number 21 and 22, children. Okay, in the first one we have just the definitions, tissues, what are tissues, children? All the cells combine together to form the tissues. We have done this in the first class. Then write about the meristematic tissue, dermal tissue, their nature, means how they look like and all. We have the diagrams also. So please read the lesson once and go through the all the points and write the do the writing part of your question answers also. It's a very easy lesson also. Okay, then before we go to the next class, please try to complete this work. Okay, thank you.